Good day, everyone. Today, we will be reporting about ecological perspective. On our subject, resource economics, we are grouped into five members and we are the group 5. First member is Jade Mar Carmen from BSES 3A, Marinette Paa, BSES 3A, Ryan Adam Belicario from 3B, Elena Colete from 4A, and Roxanne May Macabente from 3B. So what is ecological perspective? The term ecological perspective is a concept from the science of ecology that refers to the study of organisms and how they interact with the environment. So, from the word ecology, we can say that it is the scientific analysis and study of interactions among organisms and their environment. Second definition is the ecological design perspective is about how the system or product works within its external environment. It is about how the system or product is used in its context and how the system or product interacts or communicate with its environment in the process. So, here in 1973, Karel Germain borrowed the term and used it to explain the way sociologists and social workers should study the interactions of people and groups within social and cultural environments. So we can all know now that ecological perspective has something to do with our environment and how we interact with them, either humans, animals, and every living organism. Thank you all. This is Marinette Paa reporting from BSES 3A.
Natural resources allocation, usual conflicts, issues, and problems. Resource capacity planning is poor. What is capacity? Capacity is the resources available to get the job done or deliver a project on time and within the budget. Often organizations don't have any idea to measure their capacity and hence they are unable to plan their resources. One way to tackle this is to adapt a purpose-built resource management software. Resource risks are not assessed. Many organizations assess risks related to process, technology, and unforeseen events, but they don't think about the risks associated with the resources. A project manager or a resources manager should sit down and create a list of every possible risk and opportunity they can think of while allocating resources. Not enough appropriately skilled resources. It is not enough to just have resources. They should also possess skill sets required to successfully complete the project and skill sets useful to the organization in general. Allocating resources without taking account their skills sets can be a waste of time. Resource use is not optimized. Sometime already, allocated resources are not optimized. Either they are working on low priority projects rather than projects which meets organizational goals, or else they are doing busy work. In other words, they are not assigned challenging tasks according to their skill sets and responsibilities. The schedules or deadlines are unrealistic. These should be avoided at all costs. Planning, not only by taking into account project constraints, but also resource constraints, whether professional or personal, is essential in project management. Resources are assigned inconsistently. Allocating resources just on a whim or a hunch without analyzing the incoming demands, understanding the priorities, considering the organization's goals can be dangerous. Before assigning resources, it is important to have a holistic view of incoming demand and available resource capacity according to matching skill sets and roles. Too many unplanned requests for resources. In many organizations, new projects are popping up every now and then. Some of these projects, which are aligned to organizations' goals and strategy, are important and some are not. So, the first step towards resource management and planning is to get a handle on demand and then accordingly allocate resources. Shifting resources to respond to problems. Again, in many organizations, problems and issues crop up every now and then. It is quite natural because despite efficient planning, unforeseen challenges come up. That doesn't mean one should shift resources here and there. It is still essential to get a good grasp on demand and requests. Privatization. Privatization is another problem in natural resources because in this part, the resources are controlled by an individual, by his personal needs, personal goals, and not considering everyone.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, classmates. My name is Elena Colete from BSIS 4A. My assigned topic is proper natural resource allocation in management of ecological perspective. Ecological perspective. The term ecological perspective is concept from the science of ecology that refers the study of organisms and how they interact with their environment. Natural resource management specifically focuses on the scientific and technical understanding of resources and ecology and the life-supporting capacities of those resources. The natural resource management deals with the managing the way in which people in natural landscape interact. Together with the natural heritage management, land use planning, water management, biodiversity conservation, and the future sustainability of land of industries like agriculture, mining, tourism, fisheries, and forestry. The utilization of natural resource and sustainable development of economy. Currently, the natural resource management has already become the most important constraint on economic growth and social development are mainly based on huge consumption of natural resource. Many resource regulations have to be strengthened to guarantee the efforts in natural resource saving to determine optimal natural resource allocation. The long-term perspective of management of natural resources. The proper management of natural resources takes into consideration the long-term perspective so that these natural resources are used judiciously at present for the coming generation. Thus, a sustainable and planned usage of resources should be done. The natural resources concept explained from an ecological perspective. From the ecological point of view, the environment is a collection of natural factors, physical, chemical, and biological, capable of affecting living organisms. Therefore, any factor that can be consumed or used by an organism is defined as a natural resource. This is according to Begon et al. In 1990. The ecological approach in natural resource management. The ecological approach maximizes the use of natural resources with causing damage to an ecosystem. In order to implement effective programs, an outcome must be found which benefit both the land users and is a sustainable environmental practice, creating downstream benefits in lower catchment. That's all. Thank you.
And now, I'm your speaker from BC History, Ryan Adam Belicario, reporting the implication of ecological perspective. What I've searched, the ecological perspective provides a conceptual framework within which to investigate more complex interactions between persons and environments. However, within the ecological perspective, the researchers are interested in the influence of microsystems on the settings located within them, and consequently, in the rippling effects of these influences on individual behavior and development. When we say macrosystem, it is a component of Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory that focuses on how cultural elements affect a child's development, such as socioeconomic status, wealth, poverty, and ethnicity. This can also include the socioeconomic status, ethnicity, geographic location, and ideologies of the culture. The ecological impact is the effects that lift on organisms and their environment due to actions made by humans and natural occurrences. These can have a severe impact on the ecosystem by allowing the invader to continue to grow in number and force out native species from the environment. The importance of ecological perspective is a useful framework for understanding the range of the factors that influence health and well-being. It is a model that can assist in providing a complete perspective on the factors that affect specific health behavior, including the social determinants. And that's all. Thank you for listening. I'm your speaker, Ryan Adam Belicario. This is 3EB, and with my group member in reporting the ecological perspective.